Hey friends, this is Bobby Shanks, and this is episode 103 of Kitchen Talk. I am the owner of Shanks Realty Group, centered right here in Jefferson County. And my guests today are
Donna Mitchell with Guaranteed Rate Mortgage.
And we have a very special guest. As many of you know, Shanks Realty Group has been hiring new realtors for our area and outside of our area.
New and experienced realtors.
New and experienced realtors, yes, thank you. And our newest associate joining our brokerage as of last week is...
I'm Heidi Marler.
We're going to put Heidi on the spot today. This is her highlight week. So Heidi, welcome aboard.
Thank you.
It's super nice to have you. So we have known each other for many years, and
eight probably.
Yeah, and we've done some business together as far as your family, and you've also worked with Donna, and we've just kind of had this dialogue off and on for a long time, and we're super excited to have you. So tell us all about Heidi.
Well, I have 5 kids. One is an officer in the military. I have one that is a firefighter paramedic. One just got his pilot's license. And then I have 2 that are in high school over here at Seckman. We raised our kids right here off Seckman Road, right up the road here on Burgundy Drive. And they've gone to Windsor up until recently. We made some moves and here we are.
You want to know something? I know all your kids, but when you line it up like that, like what each of them have gone on to do after high school, it's like, wow, you're like a huge success story from a parenting perspective. So high five.
Thank you.
Pilot's license. I really want to do that.
He's 19 years old.
That's
19.
crazy. Yeah, that's super cool.
So what's he want to do?
That's going to be a great.
He's going to be an airline pilot, like
okay,
commercial. Once he gets to that. SEMO, Southeast Missouri State, just brought on a aircraft type of program. This is their introductory year.
Wow.
So there's like 32 kids, 26 or 32 kids that have taken this class.
Did he get his license at SEMO or did?
That's super cool.
I want to go back to school.
I had a friend that did that through St. Louis University and then joined the Marines and flew like fighter jets and all kinds of fun stuff. And then he's a commercial pilot now. So absolutely loves it.
I think I should have been a pilot.
Oh my.
Just sit up in the air, do this all day.
You're pretty big and bulky for that little cockpit.
Yeah. Well, I'd have to fly a bigger plane. I don't know.
Yeah.
So, all right, we're going to turn our attention to our munchkin here. So, can I tee it up?
You can tee it up.
So, Donna, could you share with us?
He's like,
how tall are you exactly?
Oh, we're going there again?
Yep.
Okay, so I'm wearing heels today so that I'm almost as tall as Rob when he's sitting and standing. But I'm like at 4'11", so like right under 5 foot tall.
You're the shortest person
which causes some challenges sometimes, and today was one of those times.
Oh, so would you share with us some of the challenges that you face in this cruel world of being under 5 foot?
Okay, so we talk about house things when we're on the show, and helpful tips for others. So I thought this fit in well with what we do. Okay, so I threw some towels in the dryer, turned it on, and went about my business last night. And then I went down to get the towels, and they were still all wet. So I was like, oh, did I forget to turn it on, right? Okay, must be me. So I turn it on again. I run upstairs. I'm doing all my stuff and everything. I come back down, and they're still wet again. So I was like, there's something wrong with my dryer. So I call my handy-dandy realtor.
Hey, don't suck me into your story.
So I call my handy-dandy awesome realtor best friend. What do I do? What's going on with my dryer, right? And you're like, oh, check the lint thing outside. And so I took that thing off, and I was like, it's clear, there's nothing there. I was so freaked out that something was going to climb out at me, but it didn't. Thank you. So then,
like the squirrel that jumps out of the Christmas tree.
I was picturing that happening to me. I really was. So I was just
see that happening too.
I'm trying to take a breath, and I wouldn't do it last night because I was in the dark. There's no way. So I waited until this morning. I did that, and then you're like, oh, check behind the dryer because that's a common place for lint to build up right there. So I was like, all right, I can do this. So I have this. I've got a
where the hose comes out the back.
Yeah, so I've got a good sized house, but I have a little bitty laundry room. Like it's a little bitty laundry room. So I scoot the dryer out. Well, it'll only go so far because that foily crinkly thing is attached to the wall. So I scoot it out, and it's right next to the and it's right next to the washing machine, right? So it's like there's no room. So like I'm trying to set myself up for success. I see that I need a screwdriver.
Did you climb over the top?
Just hold on. Don't. Okay.
This is gonna be awesome.
So I really felt like I was being prepared. I got 2 screwdrivers, one of the starry kind and one of the straight kind, because I saw I needed a screwdriver. I'm like, yes, I got this. So I put my little step ladder, like kind of in between the washer and dryer, so that I could so I get up, I get myself over. I'm like, this is perfect. I got this. I unscrew it, righty tighty, lefty loosey, like pull it out, and there is like this big clump thing of stuff,
lint?
Right?
Lint.
Yeah. So I was like, got it. Like, take that out. And now that I've got
she's like,
I thought I was the stuff. I won't say that.
Yeah.
The
Heck yeah.
Shizzle. I thought it was the shizzle.
shizzle.
I was like, I got this. So I take that big wad of stuff out and I'm like, ew, and I put it aside. And then, so I scooted the dryer out because like now I got space because I got that thing disconnected. As I scoot the dryer out, it knocks my ladder over, and the ladder wedges itself between the dryer, and so I can't scoot it out anymore. And I have no ladder, and I'm stuck behind my dryer. It's true. So I'm sitting there, like there was a moment of panic. Don't have my phone with me, nothing. I'm just like, oh, like okay. So like and washers are really tall. They're high. Like for me,
I agree. I agree with you.
To get the stuff out, I'm like literally like reach it down. So I'm standing here like trying to get on top of something that is like up to here. I mean, I'm sure would have been like a really awkward video if anybody saw that. But like I finally like got up on top of it and was able to climb out, and it was like brutal. So I was all like, I don't know if this is like a single girl thing or like just a short girl thing or a small.
It's all the things. It's all those things.
Or just a stubborn girl thing because I was just like I was going to do this on my own. But
you know what you have a future in.
Okay.
When you get to be an old lady, your future is going to be in television commercials, and you're going to have that little button you have to push because you've fallen and you can't get out from behind the dryer.
Life alert!
Life alert!
Yes, I put it on Facebook, and one of my friends from high school was like, "Now you need a life alert button." I was like, "Oh
exactly.
My God, is that a bad idea?"
So in hindsight,
yes, just let you do it.
Yeah, you should have been like, "Hey, Donna, I'm on my way."
Thank you.
Well, I mean, I was doing some basic.
I got this. I was all like feeling empowered, like I'm going to do this. I won't do it next time.
I was doing some basic troubleshooting with her, but she just had to be an overachiever and put on her little red cape and rubber red boots and fly over the top of the dryer. So did it fix it?
Yes.
Yay!
So my advice was pretty solid.
It was very solid. And you know what? So to kind of backtrack for a moment and have like a little bit of a real estate moment. No, it's true though. I do think that when buyers and sellers use you, you are not just a realtor. You have built houses, you have torn apart houses. Yeah. Like you get those kind of things. I mean, that might have been a simple thing for you, but I didn't know. I was like, do I need to call an appliance guy? Like I could have spent $150 just on a trip fee. Yeah. Right. And you are really good at just like knowing so many things about houses and about those things that if that came up in an inspection or something, you would have a lot of value to your customer. So I wanted to kind of bring that back into perspective.
The reason why it wasn't drying, did you figure that out?
Because you said it was blocked, and so
so if it's blocked, the heating element overheats, and there's a fuse that detects an overheat and shuts the heating element off. The dryer still spins, but it'll shut the heating element off. That's
why I was still hearing it going. Okay, that does make more sense.
Yep.
And when I turned it back on, I'm like, well, it's heating up. What's the problem here? But I didn't like stay to see if it was like calming down.
Well, at least you have. It was just lint, not a dead critter. Because I've seen like where you go on the outside of the house and you take the louver thing off and you stick your arm in there, and it's like, oh, here's a 3 months past dead squirrel.
If I would have been trapped behind the dryer,
oh my gosh, with a dead squirrel
like that, like
she would have just lit the house on fire and gone down with it.
I bet I would have gotten out of there in 5 seconds.
Oh yeah,
and been like, no problem at all. If I would have flown over the top of it.
Just kick the dryer
Now
over.
thank God you didn't say that earlier. I would not have even attempted that.
Yeah.
My short Bobby moment was whenever we hadn't listed our house yet. So just as a friend, called them up. Hey, one of the kids busted a window, and I just need a pane of glass put in. And not anyone will do that. Not just anyone will do that, but he had a guy.
Yeah.
He had a guy, and it was fixed.
I probably get 1 or 2 phone calls a week.
I don't doubt it at all.
From
You're
people
very
who are
resourceful.
just-
Very,
Yeah.
very resourceful.
You're a resource.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, that's what we're here for.
I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, "Oh wait, Rob Shanks, I know that guy," and I'm like, "I'm not surprised. He markets himself well,
Oh,
right?
Well, thank you.
You do.
I think we all do a good job.
I think so.
So let's switch topics. It is prom and graduation season, and I'm going to toot my little horn. Everybody can see I'm wearing like all sequin blue today. So I had a field trip with my
Yes.
daughter today
Yes, you did.
to the Science Center.
So fun.
And that was very special for me because when I was in 5th grade,
Yeah.
my dad, who was a very busy man and traveled a lot, like my dad traveled 9-10 months out of the year. And he actually took time out and went to the Barnum and Bailey Circus with me when I was in 5th grade. Man, you would have
wow.
thought I was a 100-watt light bulb all day long because my daddy was with me. So I got to do that with my daughter today. And as it turns out, the teachers are actually really dependent on parents to come to these field trips
Oh yeah.
because these kids are crazy.
Yes, they are.
Oh my gosh. Like, honestly, I saw sides of my daughter today I haven't seen.
When they're around their friends
Mine's,
and have a little bit of freedom.
she's like, she might be one of the more nutty ones.
Oh no.
And I'll tell you what, I know that you'll believe this.
Uh-oh.
She's kind of an entertainer
Oh.
with her little girl group
Yeah.
that she hangs out with. Like,
Oh,
she's
wait
the
a
one
minute.
that
She wants to be like the center of attention?
Donna.
Where would she get that?
You're
from?
the one that told me to sit in the center. Let's see. Over the weekend,
And prom.
my son. Oh, she's gonna take a. Well, you don't have to leave. Just size it. Hey, this is a live show, and we're real estate agents. Our phones are gonna ring.
Oh my goodness, that was awesome.
Oops.
I thought silencing your phone was implied.
There was not a memo. It wasn't bleeped on the screen like at the movies.
That was okay. That's
5-minute
That was
warning.
classic.
We
Nothing.
really do go live, man. Like this is live. That's so funny.
Well, that was somebody that's watching you live right now, and they're like, I
It
don't
said
know who
Virginia
that girl
Beach,
is, but
so I'm
I
guessing
need
they're
to sell
not
my
too
house.
local.
Whoop, whoop.
I'll call them back.
You should call them back.
Right after.
We could just take a live phone call right here on the show. No.
No.
So yes, this past weekend was prom.
It was super fun seeing everybody's prom pictures on
Yeah.
Facebook. I love looking at all the dresses and like
Yeah.
we're used to seeing all these people as kids, and now are they're like our friends' kids and they're just so grown up and they're all dressed up and I love looking through the pictures.
It was.
Hogan looks so handsome.
You know what? I'll be. You talk about being the center of attention, so I'll have a vulnerable moment.
Oh.
I love my son so much. So I learned that my son was going to prom on Saturday,
Yeah.
That's
last
good.
Monday.
Okay, I was gonna say I knew it was pretty recent. Yeah.
Yeah, not in January.
Yeah.
Right. So
That sounds about right.
and then I was busy all week. So the first time I could actually get out with him was on Thursday
Yeah.
to, shoes, pants, shirt, links, studs, jacket,
Shave.
corsage, haircut, shave. Like,
Car lined up.
I realize it's nothing
Hmm.
like it is for a young lady,
Uh,
but I haven't been to prom in a while. It's a lot. And not only that, my dad brought his 57 Chevy up, which is a 5+ hour. He trailered it.
oh,
It was a
wow.
5-hour trip. And so I'm going to share something super sentimental and vulnerable. Oh my gosh, I'm going to get choked up right now. Holy crap.
Center.
Centered. So he was leaving the house to go pick up his prom date, which was an absolutely charming and exceptionally beautiful young lady.
She looked gorgeous in that dress.
And from our area.
Yeah.
And we just kind of stopped, and oh my God, somebody stopped me. We just kind of stopped and made eye contact with each other right in front of the kitchen refrigerator, and I just grabbed him and wept like a baby. I told him how much I loved him.
What are you going to do on his wedding day? You're going to be
you're going to be a hot mess.
Well, hopefully he's not a chip off the block and undateable like me.
Oh my God.
But it was, for me, it was a
nice daddy's son moment.
It was, but it was like this culmination. It's like when they're in high school, because you've still got some in and some just out. You have one that was just out and is now well on her way. It's like when you're in high school, you're holding like this is the real me, but when you have kids in high school, this is who you are. Like you're holding your breath for 4 years. And this was a signature moment, right? Like as a parent, I'm like sign your name. Box checked. Next is graduation. Yeah. I didn't really this is a live show. We don't know what we're gonna say. I didn't mean to go into all of that.
But it's like them moving into adulthood, and it's those milestones.
It's getting real.
And you're like, he's not a kid anymore.
And I'm going to share something else that I'm very proud of my son. He not only bought his date a wonderful wrist corsage, but he actually took a picture of her dress to the florist. I was with him, and they didn't have a ribbon that goes around it to match the dress, and he said, well, her shoes are metallic gold.
You were like, he knew that. Good.
I looked at my son and I'm like, I love you. Good job, man. And so
to the details.
To the details, right? That's important if you're a young man and you're growing and thinking about, relationships. And
I feel like knowing you and Lynn, he gets that honestly from both sides.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Well, he'll definitely get it from Lynn. That didn't come from me.
I think you would have thought ahead about that.
You're pretty thoughtful.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not taking any credit. Regardless, it was super awesome. And he bought a spring bouquet for his date's mom.
Oh, wow.
Because he was going to her house to pick her up. And it was sort of his way of tipping his hat to the parents and saying, thank you for letting me be your daughter's escort.
Smooth.
That's a classy move.
That's pretty smoood.
That's a classy move. I like that.
That's like hitting a home run and sliding into home base just because you can.
That is a good one. I like it.
Oh, kids. I love them. Well, so I just talked that whole time. What do you have? Prom, graduation?
No, my daughter's
I don't have one this year.
24, so
next year.
You got to buy.
We're good to go.
Well, so let's switch. I want to talk about interest rates here a little bit because something's been weighing on me. Those of you
and everyone else that's been trying to find a house for the last year, watching the rates go up.
Anybody who's watching us, thank you. We definitely want to be your realtors and your lender of choice. And there's a lot of, listen, everybody knows this. When some sort of an announcement comes out, there's this doom and gloom and spook and fear and blah, blah, blah. And listen, this is not a headline. Interest rates were never supposed to be at 2.5% anyways.
It's true.
They're just not.
It was nice.
What do we want to do? Bankrupt the very banks that are giving us the money? At some point, there has to be a correction. Something that is up comes down. It doesn't mean it has to be this and then this. It just means if it's up, it's down. If it's up, it's down. Every 10 years, it cycles. Whether it's the auto industry,
you want to get back to normal. Here we are.
We're back, So listen, interest rates right now are comfortably 5%.
We're in the fives.
We're in the fives,
which is actually lower than normal. Historically, we are still in.
It's still a smoking interest. Like I would buy a house right now at 5% and wouldn't break a sweat. Wouldn't care.
And most
I'd be
of
totally
our
fine with
buyers
that.
who have been frustrated in this market, I mean, they're just trying to get in a house.
Yeah.
And
So-
if it kind of depletes some of these huge over, bidding so far over, your payment's probably not going to be much different going with a 5% loan and not paying a crazy
Yeah.
overage as it would have been to pay the crazy overage at the better rate.
Yeah.
Right? Your payment's the same.
One of the things that we have been really frustrated with, and not just, you, Mr. and Mrs. Consumer, but even like investors, how do you go to somebody who's pre-approved for a loan, let's say and I'm just going to use a round number. Let's say they're pre-approved for a loan for 200.
Okay.
And so as their realtor, you're saying, all right, we're going to shop around 160.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
No.
Mm.
If I'm pre-approved for 200, I'm going to shop at like 190 to 220. Okay, that's a normal market. So here's what I want to say. The first time I bought a house, my interest rate was 8%.
Mine too. My first one was
That was 2 cycles ago. So my first house I bought 20 years ago, I was at 8%. I was telling my dad about some of this when he was in town this weekend.
Yeah.
His first house in, I don't know, I guess it was either the late 70s or 80s, probably the late 80s, given what was the bank savings and loan and all that stuff back then. 18%.
Mm.
18%. And like, listen,
Ouch.
my parents are ultra conservative. Like they don't really borrow money.
Yeah.
But that's my point. When you have a life change, right? You grow up, you become a pilot, right? You go in the military, you get married. There's also unfortunate events. Maybe you separate from a spouse or someone passes. I mean, there's lots of reasons why people sell and buy homes, and that's never going to go away. But it's not ever going to be 18% either.
Right.
It's
not.
I don't think it'll ever get up to 8%,
Mm.
in my opinion.
I wouldn't.
But you know what? If it did,
that's out of the realm.
But if it did, it's still quite normal.
Yeah.
And listen, if it gets to 8%, call us, right? Get your money from her, get the home from us. And in the next cycle, which is going to happen probably sometime in 5 to 10 years, you'll just refinance it.
Yeah.
Okay. It's not a big deal. So I think I sounded a little soapboxish there. And I didn't mean to be soapboxy, but I just want everybody to,
don't panic. Calm down.
Stay calm, buy a house. It's okay. It's going to be all right. Right. With the little crown.
Yeah.
So it's inventories are going to improve now that we're back to a normal market. If you are pre-approved for a loan for 200, well, guess what? You're going to be able to look at homes in that price range because that market is now in the wave of coming to us. So just stay tuned. I just wanted to share a little bit of real estate news on that. What do you add to that? Anything?
I was just wondering, like, how much, John, what do you think the population is that are still above 5% from whenever they did
Great
go
question.
they did go down and people refinance? I'm sure you were busy as heck.
It was a huge
but-
refinance market over the last 2 years.
But how much of
everybody and their brother that could, like I called everybody I knew, like now is the time to take advantage of those kind of things. The people that couldn't, or were planning on moving in the next year or two, and it didn't make sense for them to put it into something. So, there are people that plan to move off with their jobs, with their family, whatever it is. And there's always going to be people that, they're at a certain spot in their life where they have to go FHA and they have to go with these interest rates. And they're going to, have an opportunity at some point later on to maybe get into a better rate or look at other options too. So.
Right. Well, that's it for Kitchen Talk, episode 103. Thank you very much for watching.
Congratulations, Heidi. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Welcome
Appreciate
aboard.
Yay.
Stay tuned for more realtors who will be joining us soon so that we can better serve you as our community right here locally. Thank you and have a wonderful, hopefully sunny, warm week.